What's up, Fabricators? In this episode of Fabricate, we're going to try to take this plastic toy gun and make it look not so plastic toy-ish. More focus on the gun part. So, yeah, let's give it a go.
So I start off by taking apart the gun. I want to make sure that I paint the silver parts and the black part separately. These are all the pieces separated, and now I'm going to start painting the silver pieces, or the chrome pieces, gray, just a light gray paint, and then I'm going to paint the other pieces wood color. I want to try to mimic the wood texture on them so that it looks cooler than just black. So the thing to remember when doing this is usually you might want to prep these pieces beforehand with some primer or sanding or something like that. I just did really thick layers of this acrylic paint, so I did have to go back over it again, which you'll see in a second. And you got to be really careful not to paint on it while it's still wet, because you will start to smear the lower layers. And then here you could see me doing the brown on the handles. So once it's all dried, I started painting them again and touching up spots where, it didn't look very good, putting in a layer on it. And here you can see that I'm mixing some colors because I want to do a wood texture. So I'm going to look at some pictures of wood for reference and stuff like that, and just kind of draw on those grain lines. It doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of this is going to be covered by weathering, but I did want it to kind of have a hint of that wood look under there. I actually think that it's some of the best wood that I've ever painted. I did a pretty good job at it. So I went back and made a little bit darker of a color, and then went in between the grains just to give it some more texture and depth to it. And there it is, all completed. Again, this is just a base layer. I'm going to go over it with some paint later to kind of blend it in, so this wood texture isn't going to be so prominent. So now I am going to Mod Podge the handles, and I blended in a little bit of brown because I wanted to give it sort of a brown tint with the Mod Podge, because the Mod Podge dries clear, and I was hoping that mixing a little bit of brown would tint it a little bit. It actually didn't work very well, so if you do want to try that, you might want to try a little bit more brown than what I had done. So here I'm just doing regular Mod Podge on all of the silver pieces, or that are now gray, so that I can weather them, because I really don't want to weather them before Mod Podging them, because you will just flake off all of the paint that you did before. So here I'm taking that light color and dry brushing it on, so you can see it's kind of like a blending, it serves to blend it together. So it makes it look a lot better, because you don't want those really prominent lines, especially since this is supposed to be a gun that's been handled for a while. So here it is, all put back together, and now on to my favorite part, weathering, which I am just doing a simple black wash. You take black acrylic paint, mix some water in there just a little bit so it's not super thick, and then you paint it on and wipe it off pretty much immediately. So this is almost entirely the rest of the process. I mean, from here it just needs a good weathering to it. So I'm doing all of the gray pieces first, and then I'm going to go back and add to the actual wood part of the gun itself. Just random spots where you think that it would be weathered. Now I am going in with some of the brown, and I'm doing a little bit more weathering where your hand would be. Your hand would wear away from the wood, some of the raised edges of the wood, to make it look like it's been worn and stuff like that. In the end, it actually, the wood texture on this came out really good. I did not think that it would be that good. Now I'm just taking some rub and buff and doing the silver scraping on there to make it look a little bit more silver looking. And that's it. We're all finished. So let's check it out.
And here it is, all finished. It's, you know, a little rough, it's not perfect, but my brother's gonna have it at Ren Fair in his belt, so, you know, it just needs to look nice from a distance and even up close. So I think that it came out pretty good for, you know, what it is. It's a really, really cheap toy that I ended up making look like a pretty legit looking Flintlock pistol. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And let me know if you guys have any questions about this or anything else cosplay related in the comments below. And I'll catch you next time.